No time for exercise? Finding time for fitness can really be a challenge, especially for busy people. The good news is there's a quick and easy fix for time-strapped people who can't find the time to hit the gym or are just hesitant to start a new routine. I'm talking about movements as basic as breathing, walking, and stretching. Even 10 minutes of these every day can make a world of difference, and you'll see amazing results in no time. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez. This is MedTalk Health Talk, where your care comes first. Breathing is basic. Breathing in and breathing out seems simple enough, right? But there is actually a wrong and right way to get air into and out of our lungs. To explain more about this topic, we have Dr. Jericho de la Cruz. He's a rehabilitation medicine specialist and faculty at the UP College of Medicine. We also have Ms. Francesca Regala. She's a wellness advocate and co-founder of Roots of Wisdom. Thank you both for being here with us. Now, breathing is one of the most basic functions of the human body. Everyone knows that. Not only does it fuel our body with oxygen, it can also relax and keep us calm. Now, Dr. Jack, to make us understand how to breathe properly, let's first discuss about the process of breathing. Could you explain that to our viewers?
Let's talk about gases. So gases moves from an area of high pressure to an area of low pressure. So if our lungs do not have anything on it, no air, the pressure is high, and vice versa. So when we exhale, there's nothing there. So when we inspire, the air goes from the atmosphere to our lungs, and then there's an exchange of gases inside our lungs. So the pressure becomes higher. Then we expire. We exhale. So when we exhale, we release carbon dioxide gases, and then we have a momentary pause, which is a controlled pause, and then we repeat the cycle over again. It will happen about 12 to 20 breaths per minute.
Most of us breathe without giving it a moment's thought. Now, after all, it's a basic process, as we were saying earlier, but there is such a thing as breathing incorrectly. Now, Dr. Jack, can you tell us more about this? Why should we even be mindful of how we breathe?
So, breathing should be silent, it should be rhythmical, and it should be smooth. It should pass through the nose. So, incorrect way of breathing, sometimes you breathe to your mouth, you breathe noisily, especially during rest. Pag nakapahinga ka, you can hear yourself breathe. You sigh, you yawn a lot, or you sniff, and then you take large breaths before you start a conversation. Yung parang bumubuelo ka in Tagalog. And then sometimes you see upper chest movement. So those are the signs that you're breathing incorrectly.
Okay, that's very good. And one other advantage of breathing it through the nose is that it conditions the air before it enters our lung. Now, rapid, shallow breathing occurs naman when we take in more breaths than normal in a given minute. Now, Francesca, can you explain how this one occurs?
When we take slow, easeful breaths, we end up calming the body, calming the nervous system down, and calming the mind. So deep breathing through the nose brings in a lot of oxygenation to our bodies, and deep exhalations allows the proper release of CO2, as Dr. De La Cruz mentioned.
Now, Francesca, how about when someone takes in more breaths in a minute, when they breathe too fast? What occurs when they do this?
The faster the breaths, the more stressed the mind, the more anxious the body becomes, and that induces a lot of anxiety. So when we are stressed, the best thing to do is pause and take a deep, long breath, easeful breath, and just keep on doing that, keep on focusing on that, and that the breath will come back to its normal, natural pace.
And again, we breathe without thinking because it is automatic. But certain things can make our breathing faster and make you feel out of breath. This is what we call overbreathing or hyperventilation. How does hyperventilation occur?
So in hyperventilation, your breathing patterns become rapid. Bumibilis yung ating respiratory rate, but we take in air deeply. So as compared to a tachycardia where it's shallow and rapid. No, sometimes if the person suffers an anxiety attack, bumibilis yung ating paghinga but we cannot take in more oxygen, no, because hindi natin na-expel yung carbon dioxide. So what happens is you get shortness of breath, hinahabol mo yung hininga mo, you get faster heart rate, you feel dizzy, you feel lightheaded, you feel you want to faint, no, hihimatayin ka, you feel tightness of the chest, you yawn a lot, sometimes you feel numbness of the hands and the feet.
So all of these, whenever they overbreathe, whenever they hyperventilate, baka hindi nila napapansin. Dr. Jack,
That's
doon
true.
sa mga symptoms na minention nyo, which is the most common ones?
Usually the most common one is your breathing patterns become faster. No, yung parang hinahabol mo yung hininga mo, and then you have tightness of the chest area. No, and then sometimes you'll feel the tingling sensation, the numbness of the hands and the feet.
Okay. Now let's take a moment here to take a deep breath. 4 seconds in, and 4 seconds to exhale out through the mouth. That felt good, right? Now, your breath is a powerful tool to reduce stress and make you feel less anxious. One common breathing technique is deep breathing. Now, Francesca, can you tell us and our viewers how to properly do this?
One of the quickest ways is to use a count, as you just mentioned, is breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, and then perhaps you hold the breath for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just gently exhale out through the nose as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then hold the breath. So there's many techniques in the yoga practice where you can regulate the breath when you bring more awareness, conscious awareness to the way you're breathing in deeply and exhaling deeply. Sometimes people use the count to bring more focus to the breath. So we regulate the in-breath and the out-breath.
Another helpful breathing technique is breath focus. So while you do deep breathing, use a picture or a word or phrase in your mind that helps you feel more relaxed. Francesca, can you please give us tips on how to practice breath focus?
So really the counts are one of the best, most effective ways. Some people use music, calming music. Some people use focusing on a candle, just to fix the focus of the mind and focus on the breathing. A lot of other times you can close your eyes and turn your awareness, withdraw the senses from the outer and bring the senses within, and just keep on breathing naturally, just aligning with the natural flow of our breath.
Did you know that one of the best exercises to do is the easiest and doesn't require a gym membership or even a personal trainer? I'm talking about walking. More on this when we come back. Physical activity doesn't have to be vigorous or expensive to improve your health. Walking just 30 minutes a day already does wonders to our bodies. We're Together in Health. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez. Walking can offer numerous health benefits to people of all ages and all fitness levels. It can also help prevent diseases and prolong your life. Dr. Jack, can you tell us what the benefits of walking are?
Okay, you're right. No, the World Health Organization recommends cardiovascular exercise such as walking for about 20 to 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week. So basically it increases, it protects your cardiovascular system, your lungs and your heart. It reduces the risk for heart disease and stroke. It burns your fat. I think yun yung mas maraming gustong marinig na pumapayat ka just because of walking. It increases your muscle strength and endurance, and it helps make your bones grow stronger and improves your balance as well.
That's right. And walking is one of the simplest ways to keep our hearts healthy, as Dr. Jack mentioned. It can have a significant impact on your health by lowering your chances of heart disease. Dr. Jack, please tell us more about this. I think this is a good way for those who aren't used to having physical activity to start. Simple thing as walking.
Walking, napag-usapan natin, there's a lot of benefits with walking. No? But again, the primary focus is your cardiovascular system, so your heart. No, so bumababa talaga yung blood pressure, no? But because it dilates our blood vessels, so bumababa yung blood pressure. For people who have problems with their blood pressure, magandang exercise ito. It reduces our fat, sinusunog niya yung ating mga taba sa katawan, and then it reduces our cholesterol levels.
Yes, and for those who are already used to walking, you might want to take walking to the next level. It's called brisk walking, and it's one of the easiest and most effective cardio workouts. Plus, you almost likely have everything you need already, which is yourself. Now, Dr. Jack, what's considered a brisk walk? At meron bang proper technique dito?
Okay, so brisk walking entails you to do 100 steps a minute. So bumibilis yung cadence of your walking. No? If you're going on a treadmill, it's about 3.5 miles per hour. So bumibilis siya. So in a layman, sanabi nila, pagka naglalakad ka and you can have regular conversation without you getting shortness of breath, that's brisk walking. Basta hindi ka na pwedeng kumanta while you're walking. So pagka naglalakad ka, nakakanta ka pa, you're walking slow.
Some people may not have time to separately engage in exercise and do the traditional seated meditation. So why not combine the two? This is called meditation walking or breath walking. It combines a specific pattern of breathing synchronized with your steps. Now, Francesca, what can we do to get started with breath walking or meditation walking? And could you also mention to our viewers some of the benefits of this?
Right. First step is really to just get out there and take a walk. It's a great way to connect with your body. It's a great way to connect with your breath. And the most simplest thing is really just to bring your attention and awareness to your breath. We do a form of walking meditation where every step you take, every breath you make is synced and synchronized with the movements, so the bodily movements. And the benefits of that is that walking meditation allows you to still the mind, quiet the mind from a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of chatter in the mind. And our bodies are so intelligent. Once we sync our movements with the breath, you take a step and you breathe in deeply, you take another step and you exhale deeply. We come into a certain rhythm and we're trying to come back to the natural rhythm and the flow of our breath. So we want to just align with that. Is getting great circulation, increasing our heart health, and supporting our muscles, supporting our joints, getting everything circulating healthily throughout the body and harmoniously.
Now, it's normal to sometimes feel out of breath when you engage in physical activity. But if you're finding yourself feeling short of breath all the time, your body might be telling you something else. Dr. Jack, what causes shortness of breath naman?
So there's a lot of causes, no, from the very simple to the very dangerous ones, no. Number one, a hot room can cause you to pant, to have shortness of breath, or if you have the panic attacks, you eat too much, or excessive talking. You talk a lot, and then at the end of the day, you feel you're short of breath. You can have lung diseases like your emphysema, your asthma, your COPD. Or you can have heart ailment, you can have lung cancer. So the reasons for having shortness of breath is very broad. So if you feel that you have frequent shortness of breath, you feel that there's something wrong, it's time to see your pulmonologist or general practitioners so that they can lead you to what you have to do to see a doctor.
Now, that's a good point, Dr. Jack, because a lot of people might be experiencing shortness of breath, but they want to set it aside for a little bit. What are some of the telltale signs that you definitely need to see a doctor whenever you experience that type of shortness of breath?
Okay. So if you feel that you're always catching your breath, or if you feel that you're drowning when you take a breath, it's labored. The breathing is very labored. You see your ribs, the muscles of the ribs go inside. You feel that your accessory muscles is using it. So nakikita mo lumalalim yung mga muscles in the clavicle, yung muscles of the ribs, tumutulong na siya. And then you're always trying to catch your breath, ang sinasabi nila. Then that's the time you have to see a doctor.
Now, it's not enough to just build muscles and strength. You need to also think about flexibility too. And stretching can help. More of this when we come back. Stretching before any physical activity can decrease the chances of injury. It also improves your performance. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez. MedTalk Health Talk is your connection to healthcare. Stretching keeps the muscles healthy, strong, and flexible. And that flexibility helps us maintain a range of motion in the joints. And without it, the muscles shorten and become tight. Now, Francesca, can you please tell us about the benefits of stretching?
What actually happens, the most important thing is that we are creating tone and muscular tone in the body that helps support, as you mentioned, the joints. It helps our frame. We are stretching and lengthening, creating strength and length as we stretch, strengthening the weak muscles, and at the same time releasing the tight muscles. So that helps open up the flow of the body and creates stronger muscle tone.
Yes, that's right. Now, Dr. Jack, is there a proper way to stretch? What happens when we don't stretch properly after exercising?
Okay, so to be able to stretch properly, you have to warm up first. You heat the body. So with stretching, you have to elongate the muscle spindles, the sarcomere. So once you start stretching it out, elongating it without tearing or breaking it. So once you start stretching, elongating the particular limb that you want to stretch, you have to hold it for about 30 seconds. Because holding it, remember, we have what we call the stretch reflex. So the muscle wants to contract again once you start pulling it or you're stretching it. So to be able to go beyond that reflex, you have to stretch it for quite some time so that the muscle will be used to that particular pressure. So you have to stretch it out, elongate the limb, and then just feel a little bit of discomfort, just a mild discomfort. If you feel pain, then that's the body telling you you're doing it wrong.
Dr. Jack, merong mga dalawang klaseng stretching na nakikita ko eh. There are some who do the dynamic stretch and there are some who do the static stretch. Anong mas maganda dito? Yung dynamic stretch, yung may nagbabounce pa sila, may konting jumping jack siguro. While the static stretch is the one where they hold that position and hold it for a few seconds, about 30 seconds or a minute. Now, are there benefits to any of these two? Meron bang mali dito in any of these types of stretching?
Both are correct stretches. So when you do your dynamic stretch, it's because you want to use it for a particular exercise or a particular sport. So if you're going to use the lower limb some more, so you do that particular movement that you will be doing during your play, your exercise. So that's the dynamic stretch. How about the static stretch will elongate the muscles some more. So before you go on a basketball game or a volleyball game, you do the dynamic stretch after warming up because you want to use the muscle. You want to lubricate your muscles to be able to be more flexible. So after your game, you feel a little sore. You feel a little tightness on the muscle. So that's the time you do your static stretch before you cool down.
Very good. Mabuti alam na natin yon. Now, Francesca, can you give our viewers maybe just a simple stretching routine to do before and after working out?
Usually the hamstrings after working out are the most tight that happen. I like to do a series of different stretches to open up the shoulders, to open up the hips, to open up the hamstrings and the legs after the contraction, after the hard sport or exercise. Usually the yoga stretches are there to lengthen and strengthen the tone. They're more static kind of stretches, as Dr. De La Cruz mentioned.
Okay, very good. But if you have a chronic condition, stretching might do you more harm than good. Dr. Jack, for those who have health concerns, what are the stretches that they can do?
It depends on what your problem is. If you have a problem with the spine, so twisting is a no-no. Flexion of the trunk from the hips is a no-no again. So it really depends on what area is the problem. But stretching is good for the body, as the WHO said, that you have to stretch about 3 times a week, if not every day. So it really depends on the condition of the patient.
And we wrap up another interesting episode today. We'd like to thank our guests, rehabilitation medicine specialist Dr. Jericho De La Cruz and yoga instructor Ms. Francesca Regala. We appreciate your time and your effort. Now, some exercises, even if it is minimal, is better than none. especially for people who either can't find time for it or are just simply sedentary. All you need is short intervals or simple exercises regularly to reap the full benefits of a workout. And you can start by breathing correctly, doing some stretching, as well as walking. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez, helping build a healthier future for you. Thank you for watching.